Have you ever wondered why birds fly south for the winter, or why lemmings seem to march en masse to the sea? It's a fascinating phenomenon in the animal kingdom, this instinctual exodus, this movement en masse, driven by some unseen force or change in their environment. Now consider the modern human habitat, the concrete jungle, the city. Are we seeing a similar instinctual mass movement, an exodus from the cities? What's causing this shift, and what could it mean for us as a society? It's not a sudden phenomenon. Over the past few decades, there's been a steady trickle of people moving away from cities. But in recent years, it's turned into a veritable flood. The pull of the rural, the suburban, the less densely populated has become stronger. Several factors are fueling this urban exodus. One of the most significant is the rising cost of living in cities. Sky-high rent, expensive amenities, and the general cost of urban living have pushed many to search for greener or rather cheaper pastures. Then there's the desire for space, both physical and mental. The pandemic has made us all too aware of the limitations of city living. The lack of green spaces, the absence of quiet, the constant hustle and bustle, all these have driven people to seek out places where they can have a yard, a garden, or just a bit more room to breathe. Technology too has played its part. As remote working becomes more feasible and widespread, the need to live close to one's workplace diminishes. Why live in a cramped city apartment when you can work from a spacious home in the suburbs or even the countryside? The effects of this exodus are manifold. On the one hand, cities are losing their vibrancy, their diversity, their cultural richness. On the other hand, smaller towns and rural areas are experiencing a renaissance, with new residents bringing in fresh ideas, energy, and economic growth. But there are challenges too. Infrastructure in these areas might not be equipped to handle the influx of new residents. There's also the danger of these places losing their unique character, their sense of community, as they become more urbanized. So, to wrap things up, the exodus from cities is driven by a variety of factors, from the high cost of living and the quest for space to the rise of remote working. The effects of this movement are both positive and negative, with cities losing some of their sparkle, but smaller towns and rural areas gaining in vibrancy and economic growth. Just like animals sensing changes in their environment, humans too are adapting to shifts in societal, economic, and technological landscapes. But unlike lemmings, let's hope our exodus doesn't lead us off a cliff. And there you have it, the why and what of the modern urban exodus. Next time you see a flock of birds heading south, think about this. Maybe they're not so different from us after all.